Saints come from 15 points down to deal Redskins devastating defeat. New Orleans, before injuries, ill-timed drops and defensive lapses caught up with them in the waning minutes of Sunday's game against the heavily favored New Orleans Saints. The Washington Redskins and coach Jay Gruden showed the grit and guts that have come close to making them winners. Backed up to their own 15 after a brutal third-quarter collision left quarterback Kirk Cousins dazed and broke running back Chris Thompson's right leg, ending his season, Gruden ordered a fake punt. The gamble paid off. The Redskins rode the momentum from that audacious call to a 31-16 lead with less than 6 minutes remaining. But the Redskins let New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees lead a comeback that forced overtime and, in remorseless fashion, hand the visitors a 34-31 defeat that all but scuttles any remaining playoff hopes. At 4-6, the Redskins now face a short week to recommit, reboot and prepare to host the New York Giants on Thursday night after a devastating defeat that further battered their already thin ranks. "It stings," Gruden said. "It stings a lot of people. It stings everybody involved with the Washington Redskins, that's for sure." In a disconsolate locker room afterward, cornerback Josh Norman, part of a defense that allowed New Orleans, 8-2, to roll up 535 net yards and was party to Brees being a flawless 11 of 11 on the final 2 drives, had no words, his head buried under a towel and his back to the room. And right tackle Morgan Moses, part of an offensive line that has battled through an avalanche of ankle, knee and shoulder injuries, simply couldn't find words for what it would take to replace Thompson, the pint-sized back who has carried the offense in so many ways, leading the team in rushing and receiving. "You might not be able to replace a guy like that, the things he brings to the offense, to special teams," Moses said of Thompson, who was surrounded by teammates on the field as his right leg was immobilized in an air cast, then loaded onto the cart. "Just the guy he is in the locker room, it's hard to lose a guy like that." For much of the afternoon, the Redskins had silenced a crowd of 73,138, jumping to an early lead after safety DJ Swearinger intercepted Brees, 29 of 41 for 385 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, on his third throw. It was just Brees' 5th interception all season. And though the lead teetered back and forth, the Redskins appeared in command with 5:58 remaining, poised to snap the Saints' 7-game winning streak. All they had to do was preserve a 31-16 lead. That's when Brees, 38, proved his Hall of Fame mettle. He didn't miss a throw on an 8-play touchdown drive that put the Saints within 31-23 with 2:53 remaining. And for the first time all game, the Redskins' offense went 3 and out after losing 1 yard on a 3rd and 1. They punted, putting the game in the hands of their defense. It looked as if cornerback Kendall Fuller sealed it with an interception, but he was called for illegal hands to the face instead. Brees, unflinching, fired an 18-yard touchdown throw to rookie Alvin Kamara, who then ran for the 2-point conversion that knotted it at 31 with 1:05 remaining. In a furious effort to win it in regulation, Cousins drove the Redskins to the New Orleans 34, on the edge of field goal range, but an intentional grounding penalty backed them up. Cousins then dropped back to pass when safety Von Bell flew in for a sack that jarred the ball loose. Moses dove on it as time expired. Overtime only exaggerated the fundamental differences between the teams. The Redskins, who got the ball first, couldn't muster a first down. It was 2 drops and a sack, then punt. The Saints, in turn, marched at will against the Redskins' defense that had given up 484 yards in regulation. Running back Mark Ingram ran behind left tackle for 20 and 31 yards, setting up the 28-yard field goal that clinched it. Cousins battled throughout, finishing 22 of 33 for 322 yards and 3 touchdowns, and acknowledged afterward that he was puzzled by the intentional grounding call on the ball he fired at Jamison Crowder. Rookie running back Samaje Perine impressed, gaining 117 yards, but the gut-wrenching exacted a high price. Along with Thompson, the Redskins lost safety Monty Nicholson to a concussion. Guard Sean Lauvao exited after aggravating a shoulder injury, and defensive lineman Terrell McLean left the game with a toe injury. Brees was best when it mattered most, and was helped throughout by a 160-yard rushing effort and a defense that just wasn't stout enough, giving up 535 yards of offense and a staggering 8.1 yards per play. On 23 carries, with 1 touchdown, in his first start after Rob Kelly was lost for the season with knee and ankle injuries.